up, YouTubers? This is your boy Scartoon, and I'm here today to bring you another Bleach Brave Souls video. I'm going to be doing the 6-star 100% character analysis on none other than Buntai no Ichi no Daigoseki, Ayasegawa Yumichika. That's right, I'm going to be doing the 6-star 100% character analysis on the 5th seat of Squad 11, Yumichika Ayasegawa. So without further ado, let's get into this bad boy. Alright, so looking at his stats, this guy is pretty decent. I'm digging him. I mean, he's got that 728 stamina, 750 plus is where we kind of want 6 stars at, but 728 is not so bad, and I'll take it because I've seen worse. Attack 535, this contests with most other 6 stars, not the highest attack, but it does contest with other 6 stars, so that is fine. Defense is 281, is about 36 points above the normal average of defense. It's pretty much on the higher side. I'm liking it, fairly average, not too standout. Focus 290, this is a pretty standout attribute because it is, you know, a decent amount above the average, and we can always appreciate that. Alright, next, 560 spiritual pressure. This is actually a bit on the higher side, 40 points off of 600, but anywhere above 500 is a fairly decent spiritual pressure. So that's a huge meaty chunk, and it's hopefully going to allow him to produce a lot of strong attack damage. One thing you have to note about these characters is they have double killer attributes. So he seems to have Hollow and Soul Reaper, which are technically most of what the fodder mobs that you're going to see in a lot of raids. So I might actually be, you know, getting that crit buff, just to let you know, because it's very hard to find any raids that don't have them. Alright, so he has a dodge rate to boot as his soul trait, and you know, it's not a PvE thing, it's completely throwaway. Let's go into his soul tree. And in his soul tree, you will notice that he has 6 attainable upgrades. That's actually a lot for a newer 6-star. Alright, but none of these attainable upgrades block his path into completing him to 150. So if you just wanted to collect the orbs, all you have to do is augment him and provide him with the appropriate jewels, which you'll love this. It's focus jewels. When do we get to use these too often? Not that often. So you just provide him with those focus jewels and you can level him up to 150. Great information for PvE players alike. So starting from left to right, top to bottom. Sprinter. This increases the number of flash steps. Much needed, always good. Next, Devastation. This increases his special move damage. I'm not a fan of this. I prefer Bombardment for these kind of things, but whatever. Next, Havoc. This increases his strong attack area of effect. I like this. It's okay. It's much needed. Alright, Berserker. Increases his strong attack damage. Okay, so he's looking like a strong attack user over here. Next, Long Reach increases his area of effect of his normal attacks. It's good. And lastly, Bruiser increases his normal attack damage. So outside of Devastation, he has really no throwaways. These are actually all much needed upgrades. Hopefully they actually make a big difference from his 5-star version, which I currently don't like. Alright, so without further ado, guys, please enjoy the clips. Running a sad build. Sad build by Yakuya raid quest, full boost stars. Let's get it poppin'. Alright, so first things first, since we're doing a sad build, we are going to test out those cooldowns. So first strong attack, 8 seconds. Second strong attack should be 16 seconds. And last strong attack is going to be 24 seconds. These are fairly standard cooldown times, so let's get into this. Oh, okay, that's producing okay damage. I find that alright. That's alright. I mean, they're not able to knock out entry-level mobs, but I'm still getting, you know, mid-tier damage range with these strongs and a sad build, because, you know, that's a lot more than I've seen most people produce. But you see, the fact that certain people are still alive after getting hit by like 2 strongs, it's a little tedious for me at that point. but he still does produce pretty decent damage on these strongs there. That's attributed to that 560 SP, and then I'm throwing an extra 40% on top of that. So he's gonna be producing pretty decent damage. It's not exactly where I would want it to be, but it's, with double hits and getting each hit up to 2k. I mean, the first strong attack, I believe, hits 3 times if you actually get it right. Or 2 times. I don't know if it's 2 times, but I know each of his strong attacks is definitely a multi-hit, which is pretty interesting. That's why they didn't give these characters Frenzy. When they have multi-hits, they just try not to. But it would have been so nice if he did have Frenzy, because it would have just done so much damage right there. Like, he just did somewhere around 3k there, and I mean, that was okay. Yeah, I believe they hit 3 times. The first strong can definitely hit up to 3 times. And the second hits 2 times, and the third can hit up to 3 times as well. So yeah, he can actually, since essentially his first yeah, wow, and the second one actually produces 2k a hit, which means that he can produce upwards of 3k per strong attack at the very least, 3k up, which is really good. I can't actually fault him on that, and he's always going to be doing stock damage plus or plus damage plus, because every raid mob is going to be a Shinigami or a Hollow. It's actually really interesting. Wow, I'm surprised. Sad build. Gonna test out Yumichika special. No Tenchintai, of course. Oh wow, that's pretty interesting. Running a SAR build. SAR build, full Boostarios, Byakuya raid. Let's get it poppin'. Well, alright. So, since we're running a SAR build, let's test out those cooldown times. So, first strong attack, 5 seconds. Second strong attack, 11 seconds. And last strong attack is going to be 16 seconds. Alright, that's fairly standard cooldown times. Alright, so why don't we just get into these strong attacks and normals and see how much damage they do. Alright, so they're still producing decent damage. Not great damage, but I'm thinking it's pretty okay, especially for not having Frenzy and having those pesky multi-hits where it's not doing like huge chunk damage, it's just doing, little chibi hits that add up and have their own individual crits. But for the most part, I'm not that annoyed playing this style. I mean, I find his string relatively quick. Like, he gets out his normals very quickly, I have to say. So I kind of like the fact that he gets that out at that speed. I just don't like the range of it. He just doesn't really have really good range on his string, and that just causes a really big disconnect. Not to mention his strong attacks, they kind of don't connect really well to me. They're not kind of strong attacks that you use in combination with one another. They just kind of fall apart in that aspect as standalone moves, really, and it's kind of a bummer. They don't even really mix with his normals very well. You're just gonna pretty much knock out with that standalone and then try to incorporate some normals in there, but essentially they're not producing outstanding damage, as you're seeing. Like, it's taking quite some time for these guys to go down, even with a significant amount of attacks being thrown at them. I mean, good control is there though. I mean, I have no problem doing this to the mobs. It's very simple. It's pretty much a cakewalk for me, and he does have decent guard breaks, but still can get tedious when you're not producing outstanding damage. But I have to say, SAR build, the controls there, and it's not bad. Running a NAD build. NAD build, Byakuya raid, full boost stars. Let's get it poppin'. Well, alright. So, since we're running a NAD build, let's test out that string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very, very fast string. I likes it. I just don't like the distance. I wish he had just a little bit more distance in meters, but it's whatever. Let's see what this guy is doing here. Oh wow, alright. So I'm not trying to get hit, but he got hit for chibi damage. Not for nothing, I'm liking the damage he's doing. It's crazy. It's really nice damage. 2k straight up. I mean, I am sacrificing you know, safety for a NAD build, as you always are. And with characters like this, they're always playing it so close, you know, you kind of only want to hit the mob with your normal attacks when they're knocked down. Fortunately enough, each strong attack that he has, they're not going to produce a lot of damage, obviously, because he has, you know, no access to his SP, but they are decent knockbacks, and that's good. They're decent knockbacks and guard breaks, allowing you to support a NAD build to its fullest capabilities. See, I just hit them. They're all guard broken with that one strong attack, and I'm just capable of melting down their HP. This is very helpful when it comes down to these mobs, especially seeing as the SAD build takes so long to get rid of these mobs in terms of their HP, and when it comes down to a NAD build, you know, I'm forced to use my normal attacks, and my normal attacks produce these outstanding immense hits of damage that even go upwards to 3k. Alright? Wow, almost 3200. Whoa. And that's on, this guy he's a monster with NAD. Well, there you have it. That's my 6-star 100% character analysis on Yumichika. In the end, you find out that he is fantastic with a NAD build as he gets the top score. The secondary score goes to a SAD build, and the final lowest score goes to a SAR build. Okay, and the breakdown for this is fairly simple. Okay, a NAD build it's great. Okay, he can produce upwards of 3k on that last hit, 3 to 3.5k, and that's insane. And then he's producing somewhere around 2.2 to 2.6k normally on his string. I haven't seen too much of that going on around for most characters, and this is something that he really doesn't even have the color attribute over. He does have the killer attribute, which is the smaller increase, but because he's just gonna, every single mob is either a hollow or Shinigami, he's always gonna be doing plus damage plus, which is a big plus for PvE players alike. He loses a little bit of points on that NAD build just because of the range. The range is just crappy, and it's just inefficient, and I don't like that. It puts him in too many dangerous situations. But luckily his strong attacks do support it as good knockbacks with guard break. That's what I can say. A SAD build comes in second place here because it doesn't produce as fast a clear time as a NAD build, and it doesn't produce nearly as enough damage or DPS as a NAD build. However, I am very taken by it because it does have really decent AoE. The strong attacks are disconnected from one another, but the fact that they actually produce pretty decent chunk damage, I have to include it, especially for a character that does not have a frenzy. I was actually enjoying the SAD build very much. It does get a lower score because it does have a lower clear time, and you know, you do have to bide your time a little bit and kind of construct your playstyle around that. A SAR build gets the final score, and really because it's just a tedious thing to use. I just didn't like using it at all. I just found it really troublesome to just get rid of entry level mobs even, and that is not cool. Really not cool. Alright, so it's just going to get the lower score, and it's just flat cut and dry. It is a viable build, guys. You can use it if you need to, and it does provide some degree of control, but why would you when you obviously saw what he can do with the other two? Okay, so my opinion on this character, at first I didn't like him. I'm not even gonna lie about it. I wanted to give him an F rating. I thought he was gonna be complete trash, but after seeing his performance and demonstration testing out these builds, I have to give this guy an A. If you have him in your roster and you require some type of orange character or a raid buster character, he is actually your guy. He's a semi boss killer to the maximum power because, you know, he just doesn't have that debilitator, but he does produce decent amounts of special damage. Okay, his string is pretty fast. He's a PvP character essentially because he's dodge, so you can actually go full dodge, chappy build, and it's actually completely supported. And lastly, he can help you complete any and all raids, as he's going to be doing plus damage plus on any and all raids. Okay, it's just a known fact. All right, he has the killer attribute, so he always has some type of advantage over his adversaries, and with that extra crit, he just crits a lot. It's just crazy. The only thing that squanders his potential completely is the range of his attacks. If they would have increased it somewhere around 5 to 10%, this character would be completely broken in my opinion. So yeah, I think that this guy is actually really good, and if you have him in your roster, I would recommend that you level him up. I will also say this as a side note: if you already have an orange character like Toshiro or Hyunmaru or something, and you're just not interested in a project, then you're not really missing out on much with this character. But I have to point out that he is a very useful character in the world of PvE. I'm surprised myself. I can't believe it. But that's my analysis. You're always welcome to make up your own opinions on this matter, because that's what this is about, guys. Either way, that's my video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. As always, I'll be bringing you more Bleach Brave Souls content throughout the week. I'm your boy Scartoon, and I'm signing out of here. Dude, chill. Productions!